Hello YouTubers, my name is Attila Mate from Blue Sky Photography, and today I would like to talk to you about two lenses that I like very much, and I can say that they are my favorite portrait lenses. And those would be the Samyang 135mm f2 lens, which at the moment has the adapter on it, and I will show you. This is the length with the adapter to Fujifilm cameras of the lens. It's a pretty big lens, and this is the length without the adapter. 1 second now. This is the length without the adapter. That's how big is the lens. I used last time this lens on my Fuji camera, and that's why it's the adapter on it. But I use these lenses on my Nikon D7200 as well, and on crop sensor cameras this lens 135 f2 will be a 200mm f2.8 kindish depth of field wise I'm talking about, and the second lens would be the Carl Zeiss 85mm 1.4 planar. Now these two lenses are my favorite portrait lenses, and I would say that these two lenses are my workhorse lenses when it's about portraiture. And I wanted to do a comparison between the image quality of these two lenses, and I wanted to compare just for myself, you know, to see if there is a difference between the Samyang lens and the Carl Zeiss lens. And I have to tell you that there is a difference. Samyang lenses, they are really good, but it's not as good as a Carl Zeiss lens. It is really close, but it's not as good. Now, they are very cheap if we compare the price and the value what you get for the price. The Samyang lenses are best buy than the Carl Zeiss lenses. The Carl Zeiss lenses, the build quality is much better than the Samyang, although the Samyang is mostly metal. Some part of it it's plastic, but mostly it is metal. And the Carl Zeiss lens, though, it's full metal construction. I think that it's built for last 30 years, you know, so it's better build quality wise. But what is really important, the image quality. So I will get into my computer and I will show you some photos made with these two lenses. Yeah, I made those photos both on my Nikon D7200, so you don't you see, because the Samyang lens and the Carl Zeiss lens has also electronic contacts, so it will communicate with the camera. You will see the aperture, it will recognize the lens, you will see the aperture, the focal length, and everything, shutter speed. It's the metering will work completely. It's kind of half automatic, both of these lenses. So that's why I made these photos with my Nikon D7200, so you can see the EXIF data, you know, that it's actually made with that lens. So let's get into my computer and let's see those photos. But like I said, these two lenses are my favorite portrait lenses. So let's get into my computer now. So we are in my computer now, and let's open up Zoner Photo Studio and let's see these photos. Now, I will show you three sets of photos. All three were made with the Nikon D7200. You can see over here the EXIF data down here, and you can see also that it's an F file, and you can see over here the details about the lens and about the camera Nikon D7200. So this side you see the Carl Zeiss 85mm f1.4 planar, and this side you see the Samyang 135mm f2. Now both of these photos, they were made at f2, and the rest of the photos, they will be the same, you know, the shutter speed is the same, 1/500 of a second f2 ISO 200, 1/500 of a second f2 ISO 200. And it is very interesting to see that although it is f2 on this lens and f2 on the Carl Zeiss lens, the Carl Zeiss lens is much more exposed. It's like a little bit like overexposed, and the Samyang lens is underexposed. So it means that there is a pretty big difference between the two, and that would be the t-stop difference. Now, I don't want to talk about too much about the t-stop because it will be too long, you know, for this video. But what I want to say that the lens, the t-stop, it means the light which will go out of the lens to the sensor actually. The f-stop is the light which is getting to the lens, and the t-stop is which the light will go out of the lens on the back. And many times the cheaper lenses, they will have the f-stop big, I mean wide, like the Samyang is f2, but actually the t-stop, it will be f2.8. And this is the case over here, because the difference between the Samyang and the Carl Zeiss is that the Carl Zeiss is f1.4, the t-stop, it will be f1.5 or 1.6. But the Samyang will be f2, but the t-stop will be f2.8. And that's a trick of the lens manufacturers. So they will trick you with this. They should actually use the t-stop, you know, and don't use the f-stop. But anyway, that's only my opinion. But that's the only explanation, because the difference between these two, the time-wise, you know, it was like maybe 2 minutes. So the light couldn't change at all. And it was a cloudy day, so it wasn't that, oh, the sun came out. No, it wasn't. It was a cloudy day, you know, it was the same amount of light all the way around. So, but let's not speak about this. Let's speak about difference. You can see the angle of view difference, and you can see the bokeh difference in the back. Now, obviously, if the Carl Zeiss we will get down to f1.4, the bokeh will be even different than here. But let's see the sharpness. The sharpness of the lens, like I said, the Samyang lens is really, really good because it is on par with the Zeiss lens, without any doubt. I mean, if you look at the picture, you can see that it's on par, no problem at all. But there is something on the Carl Zeiss lens, if you look attent on your photo, on this photo, there is something that the image, it pops, you know, it's like, I don't know really to explain that. But this image is a little bit flat compared to this image. This is, I don't know, the contrast, the color saturation, everything what you can, the image pops, you know, it's not the sharpness wise, it is the same. Look, it's the same sharp, you know, that's no doubt in it. But if you look from the distance, you know, to the image, just like this, you can see that this image, the Zeiss image, will pop, and the Samyang image is a little bit washed out, I don't know. Sorry. So let's see the next set of images, and this is at f2.8. So I wanted to make it f2.8, so I stopped down the Samyang as well, because maybe you will say, yes, the Samyang here on this set of images, the Samyang is wide open at f2. It's true, fair enough. So let's go down to 2.8. So this is stopped down as well. Now, on this image, you can see again the same problem like before, that the Zeiss image is better exposed than the Samyang image, and it is the same exposure, 1/250th of a second, f2.8, 1/250th of a second, f2.8, ISO 200 both cases, so it's the same story. Now let's see the sharpness. The sharpness, again, it is the same. There is no difference. Both lenses are equally very, very sharp. I mean, you're getting over here, look, the photo starts to pixelize. You can see the details over here. Look on the jumper, you know, it's unbelievably sharp. That's not a question. But again, if you look attentive to these photos, you see that the Zeiss lens has different color rendition, have different micro contrast. Even the 3D separation of the subject is different than here, in my opinion. Now you can see yourself, you know, I will close this so you can see bigger the photo. You can see yourself, you know, I don't have to tell you, you can see yourself the difference between the two. So let's get further down. This is the third set of images, and over here this was made with f1.8, the Zeiss, and this was here made with f2. So I wanted to get a little bit closer to kind of to have the same bokeh in the background, and you can see that the Zeiss at f1.8 has the same bokeh like the Samyang at f2. But if you look again, if you the the framing is a little bit different, just a little bit. It's not a big difference between the two, but it's a little bit different. And if you look at the photo much more attent, you can see the same problem again with the exposure. This is not as well exposed as this one. And obviously over here is f1.8 and here f2, but look, here is the shutter speed f1/250th of a second. Here is 1/400th of a second. So the difference in the aperture is compensated with the shutter speed. So it should be equal, but it's not. The Zeiss image, it is much better exposed than the Samyang image. I don't say the Samyang image is not good. It's good, it's great. If you look at this photo, it's sharp, it's good, that's not a problem. But there is something which one will catch your eye on this photo. And that's the difference between the Samyang and the Zeiss. Now this is, like I said, it's only my opinion. And if you have different opinion, that's completely fine, that's not a problem. But in my opinion, the difference, the money difference you will pay for the Zeiss lens, it's in these kind of things, not in sharpness, because this particular Zeiss lens is not really sharp. It's not the sharpest lens on the face of the planet, no, but it is sharp enough for portraits. And in my opinion, the Samyang lens is a great lens, and for that money, it's a great buy. If you don't have money to buy the Zeiss, buy the Samyang, you won't be disappointed, definitely. But the Zeiss lens, it will be better in color saturation, in contrast, even in color rendering, you know, and everything. Even you can see even in exposure, it's different. It's same aperture, same f2.8, same f1/250th of a second ISO 200. This is kind of a half stop, more exposed than this one, definitely. So I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. I hope that you liked it. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and share my videos. If you want to add something to this video, feel free and leave a comment down below. If you want to ask something about these two lenses, feel free and leave a comment down below. And if you want to support this channel, please give me a like and share my videos and subscribe to my channel. Other than that, I wish you a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.